What's going on, guys? Austin from Austin's Trading Group, and just want to do a technical lesson today. So what we're going to be talking about today is trend lines. So trend lines are a very, very useful tool, but I would never recommend relying on them, but they're a great confluence to use. Now, confluence is going to be a word that you guys hear me use a lot, and basically confluence is just another word for reason. So essentially what you want to have is a stack of confluences or reasons that your trade is going to work in your favor. So you can use a trend line as one of these confluences, but I would never make decisions just off of a trend line alone. I would always like to pair that with something else, like a key level or a Fibonacci level, and we'll talk about those in other videos. But today we're just going to talk about trend lines. So how you would draw trend lines is something like this. So you need to have a trending market, and then what you would do is, let's give this a little bit of an area too. So you would want to have the lows in an upward market, and you would connect lows from there. And this is going to be a drawing, so it's not going to be perfect. We'll go to the screen and we'll find you a perfect real market example. But just for the video, we're just going to give you the illustration. So basically, you use a trend line to connect your lows in an uptrend, or you use them to connect your highs in a downtrend. Now, a downtrend example would look something like this. Let's just say the market decides to reverse from here, comes down. Now your trend line would look something like this. This one might have a curve in it because it's drawn by my hand. But when we go to the market, we'll give you that perfect example. But with the downtrend, you're connecting your highs. So we'll just write right here, in uptrend, connect lows, in downtrend, connect highs. So write this down in your notebook, guys. If you guys don't have a notebook out, get one out. We're just going to keep these videos short and sweet, filled with nothing but valuable information, and we're going to leave all the fluff and all the nonsense out because we don't have time for that. So yeah, trend lines, very simple tool. What you're going to always look for in your uptrend is connecting your lows, 1, 2, 3, and in your downtrend, you're going to be connecting your highs, 1, 2, 3. Now, you also might say, well, what about connecting your highs in an uptrend? If we were to do that, we would get something that looks like this. Again, this isn't perfect because I'm drawing it, but now we have something called a channel. So trend lines plus channels. It's 2 in 1 today. So trend lines and channels. Okay. So in your channel, you would be connecting the highs in an uptrend after you've established your trend line, and then in a downtrend, you would be connecting your lows after you've established the trend line connecting the highs. Now, how you would use a channel is a little bit interesting than how you would just use a standard trend line. In an uptrend, a standard trend line is going to act as support. So let's write that down as well. Green acts as support, and then in a downtrend, as resistance. So as you can see here, let me just cap off this marker. Here's our trend line. And you can see how that's acting as support. When price comes down, the trend line is supporting price, and it lifts off. You can see here it comes down and it lifts off. Again, this is an illustration, but I will be backing this up with real market examples. I just want to draw it out for you guys first and explain it a little bit better. And if we look at our downtrend example, you can see whenever price approaches the trend line from the highs that we connected, it acts as resistance and comes down. Now in a channel, you're going to have both support and resistance. So if your bottom trend line is acting as support and the top trend line is acting as resistance, you can make trading decisions off of that. You can be buying the support and selling the resistance. That's how it would work. Same thing over here. The price comes down. I don't know what kind of arrow that is, shitty arrow, but whatever. You get the point. Acts as support. So now you can be making decisions based just off of trend lines and channels. Now, an easy way to draw a channel, we'll do this once we get over to the charting software, is after you draw your trend line, you just clone it and drag it, and you'll notice that it will typically fit almost perfectly with price action. So I would say this is pretty much it for the whiteboard example. Make sure you guys write down these 4 important facts. That in an uptrend, a trend line is going to act as support. In a downtrend, a trend line is going to act as resistance if you're connecting your highs and if you're connecting your lows. And in an uptrend, you want to be connecting your lows. And in a downtrend, you want to be connecting your highs. So now that we've covered everything on the whiteboard, let's go over to the computer and take a look at what this looks like on the screens.